Bred to Win, brought to you by Inglis Digital, the tried, trusted and reliable market for online sales.
Hello, I'm Caroline Searcy. Welcome to this week's Bred to Win. Coming up, the backstories to the biggest weekend of spring racing in Sydney for the breeding industry, Tab Epsom Day with the 3 Group 1s and the first 2-year-old races, the Breeder Stakes and the Gimcrack. He's the stallion with the Hollywood looks who sends social media into meltdown. We visit the one and only 10-time Group 1 winner, So You Think, at Coolmore, Australia, and consider the incredible consistency of his regular stakes winners. And Gus Lamont from Kooringal Stud with a wonderful filly in Arrowfield Studs, the horse who made you love racing. First though, all the latest from the bloodstock world in the Aushorse news of the week.
And the Group 1 are off and racing here.
The biggest day's racing of the Sydney Spring, Epsom Day at Royal Randwick and Turnbull Stakes Day at Flemington threw up some great stories. We start with the popular Jamie Walters, first Group 1 winner for his proven thoroughbred syndication company, as Private Eye was too strong in Randwick's Spring Mile Championship. The Epsom winner was bought for $62,500 at the Adelaide Magic Millions by Joe Pride and Jamie from Ambergate Farm, and his granddam is a half-sister to Snitzel and Hinchinbrook. His dam, Confidential Queen, has also thrown talented star witness gelding Royal Witness, who's won over $375,000 in prize money. Private Eye's sire, Alma Her, a 3-quarter brother to Redute's Choice, now stands for only $8,800 at the Becker family Stockwell Stud in Victoria, and it was his second Epsom success following on from his son Fat Al in 2012.
Never been kissed, lays it down to Swift Witness, Star Totto's late and hinged along the rails.
Waikato Stud has a long record of producing Group 1 winners in Australia, and this year's Flight Stakes winner, Never Been Kissed, is from a family that runs deep with the famous Chittick family bloodlines. The filly by Tavachi is from Movie, a daughter of the Chittick's champion sire Savabeel and Tootsie, who's sister to the granddam of last year's Epsom winner Probabeel. Movie's 2021 yearling by Sacred Falls, filmed here for our preview of January's NZB sale, was withdrawn from that sale and is to be sold through the New Zealand Ready to Run auction in November in the Ohukia Lodge draft. Never Been Kissed's Flight Stakes success was the first Group 1 win for her sire, the sprinting son of High Chaparral Tavachi. The all-age stakes winner stands this season at Waikato Stud at a fee of $12,500 NZ.
Incentivise kicks at the 250.
In Melbourne, Incentivise continued his progression towards the Cox Plate with a tough win in the Group 1 Turnbull Stakes, beating home Tavistock's Young Werther and a field including 9-time Group 1 winner Very Elegant and last year's Cox Plate winner Sir Dragonet. Incentivise is a half-brother to stakes winners Bergerac, Cheyenne Warrior and Waikato Stud stallion Ardrossan, and his dam Miss Argyle is a half-sister to Doomben Slipper winner Diamonds on the Inside. His sire Seamus Award by Snitzel and a Cox Plate winner at 3 is having a standout season at Rosemont Stud, and also sired El Patroness to win Saturday's listed Superimposed Stakes. He stands this season at a fee of $33,000.
At the 100 metres, it's Kemmel passes Zutori and Kementari.
The enigmatic but highly talented Kementari showed just how long it can take a stallion to return to full fitness after taking time to stand at stud. Kementari's win in the Group 2 Gilgai Stakes came after he stood the 2019 season at Darley Stud, unfortunately only siring 7 live foals, one of which has since died, by the champion racehorse and sire Lonro from Yavanna, a daughter of Redute's Choice, and starmare Wild Queen. Kementari hails from the illustrious Denise's Joy family. It was a Darley Group double at Flemington as Kalos was successful in the Godolphin Blue in the Group 2 Danehill Stakes. By Medaglia d'Oro, sire of Australian Group 1 winners such as Vancouver, Astern and Flit, Callis is from Exceeding Excel mare Calliope, winner of the Magic Night Stakes at 2. Her dam Melpomene is from the Victorian Oaks winner Bulla Borghese.
As Think It Over moves up now to Shed Ambition.
At Randwick, George Ryder Stakes winner Think It Over was too strong in the $1 Million Hill Stakes, taking his prize money to over $2.3 million. He's a homebred for Bylong Park, and his dam Personal Service is by Zabeel and is a half-sister to Universal Prince and Universal Queen, and to the dam of Crone. So You Think will feature shortly on Bred To Win, standing this season at Kooringal Stud at a fee of $77,000.
Standout went to the front. Masked Crusaders charging through the centre.
It was a great day for Swettenham Stud's Tornado as Masked Crusader showed his great turn of foot to dash home in the Group 2 Premier Stakes on his way to the Tab Everest. He's from the Invincible Spirit mare She's Got Gears, who sadly died this year. He was sold by Gilgai Farm for $340,000 to Hawks Racing and Cameron Cook at the 2018 Inglis Premier Yearling Sale in Melbourne. His sire, Tornado, another outstanding stallion by High Chaparral, also had still a star in the Group 2 Rose of Kingston Stakes at Flemington. He stands this season at Swettenham Stud in Victoria for $49,500.
But Coolingal's off and gone. Look at the filly fly.
And the Randwick meeting kicked off with the first 2-year-old races for the season in Sydney and two very impressive performances. Written Tycoon's Coolingal recorded slick time in winning the fillies Gimcrack Stakes. Her dam Piping Hot was bought by John and Jake Warren, and Coolingal was sold by Milburn Creek through Magic Millions to Kieran Maher for $280,000. Written Tycoon moved back to Victoria this year after being crowned champion Australian sire for last season. He stands at Yulong Farm at a fee of $165,000. And the Colts and Geldings Breeders' Plate was won by the handsome son of the late Sebring, Sir Jardin, who was picked out by trainer Gary Portelli at the 2021 Inglis Classic Yearling Sale. He's from the Hinchinbrook mare Miss Amajardin, whose third dam is the enormous broodmare Influence Procrastinate. As you can see from his balance and strength in the Inglis Riverside Sales Ring, he's a natural athlete and was always a standout for Middlebrook Valley Lodge's Verna Metcalf, who sold him on behalf of his breeder Dale Miller to Gary Portelli for $165,000.
Goes Tornado Tasso down the outside for Germany. Tornado Tasso storming through.
Germany again demonstrated the strength of its heavily regulated breeding industry as Torquato Tasso caused an upset win in one of the world's great races, the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe at Longchamp in Paris on Sunday night. It was the cross that created the wonderful Galileo, with the winner already a two-time Group 1 winner in Germany by German sire Adlerflug, a grandson of Sadler's Wells, while Torquato Tasso's dam Tijuana is a granddaughter of a half-sister to Arc winner Urban Sea, dam of Galileo's See the Stars and more. He was a €24,000 yearling in Germany and beat home the Aga Khan's Tanawa and the Godolphin pair Hurricane Lane and Adea. In other news, champion European 3-year-old St Mark's Basilica has been retired to Kooringal Stud in Ireland with the record of 5 Group 1 successes. The son of Siuni and bred by Australian Bob Scarborough, he's a half-brother to Magna Graecia, who's standing his second season in the Hunter Valley. In Inglis digital news, Arch Anna sold for $900,000 in the late September Inglis online sale, going back to her co-breeder Arrowfield Stud, who'd kept a part share in her during her racing career. A Sydney winner and three-quarter sister to champion Colton, now stallion, the Autumn Sun, she was sold to dissolve the ownership group, and Arrowfield came out on top of the bidding. In last week's spring boutique sale, Celestial Falls sold for $465,000 to Victorian Stud Springmount. And while we have Gus Lamont on the show later from Kooringal Stud, we have some new vision of the latest foals by the Group 1 winning 2-year-old and Victoria Derby winner Prized Icon. This careful colt is from the Encosta de Largo mare Moonrush and has developed quite the turn of foot already. And this filly from the Street Cry mare Persia has already learnt to parade perfectly alongside mum, but typical of most youngsters is keen to show some fleet-footed independence, even performing a perfectly balanced jump, but she's not quite independent enough to stay away from mum for too long. Prized Icon stands this season at Kooringal Stud near Wagga Wagga in southwestern New South Wales at a fee of just $11,000.
It's on Todd and Montefilia. Montefilia put the head in front from Untot.
The Inglis Graduate of the Week was a Group 1 winner sold as a weanling through the Inglis Great Southern Sale, now a 3-time Group 1 winner. Montefilia's success in Saturday's Metropolitan added to her wins last year in the Flight Stakes and the Spring Champion. She was sold by Kooringal Stud as a weanling for $62,000 before being on-sold as a Magic Millions yearling to David Payne. Her dam Banawoo is by the German son of Monsun and great staying influence Scirocco, who's also sire of multiple Melbourne Cup runner Prince of Arran. Montefilia is by Kermadec, a son of Galileo's Dewhurst winner Teofilo, while Kermadec himself won the Doncaster Mile and George Main at Randwick. Kermadec has moved this season to Darley's Victorian base at a fee of $11,000. With the Inglis Ready to race sale just over 3 weeks away, our G1 Goldmine focus this week is on some of the lots who rate more highly than others according to the statistical algorithms. The higher the number, the better the cross has performed, and it's apparent even in young stallions without many runners of their own. We start with lot 24 by Churchill from Meiji, with the filly's pedigree rated as outstanding, the green meaning the cross has performed above expectations, and the gold registering a supercross, as demonstrated by the likes of Sontag, Tavistock and Frankel. Lot 103 by Thronum from Vintage Quality shows the elusive quality, and Gone West Cross with Schnitzel is a supercross, and similar pedigrees belong to stars of the track, Away Game, Miss Finland, Samantha Miss, Melito and more. Next, lot 92, a filly by Sapedo from Tale of Fun, in particular showing a strong nick between Golden Slipper winners Dan Zero and Sebring, with similar overall crosses belonging to Sebring himself, Verrazano and others. Finally, the Russian Revolution Catch You Later filly highlights the efficiency of the Red Ransom and Charge Forward cross, with both Schnitzel and his sire Reduced Choice. This has produced Group 1 winners Esther Jarb, Trapeze Artist, She Will Reign and Fashions Afield. Time for a break on Bred to Win. Coming up, the Cambridge Stud performance of the week and the horse with that flowing forelock and so much more. The mighty So You Think at Kooringal Stud. The Cambridge Stud performance of the week was the Windsor Park Plate success of now 3-time Group 1 winner Callsign Mav. A son of the late Atlante and grandson of Fastnet Rock, he's now Cox Plate bound without another run. Callsign Mav was bred by Windsor Park Stud and sold as an NZB weanling for only $3,000 and is from the Volksrad mare Radisi, a half-sister to Thorne Park's Group 1 winner The Party Stand. As well as having the great son of Nijinsky Royal Academy close up, Callsign Mav's third dam is by one of the most exciting 3-year-olds of the mid-80s, the New Zealand-bred Red Anchor, who won not only the Caulfield Guineas and Victoria Derby, but also the WS Cox Plate in 1984 as a 3-year-old. Callsign Mav recently had 36% of his ownership bought by one of his co-owners, Nelson Thoroughbreds, after it was offered at the Inglis Digital late October online sale this time last year.
There's nothing left to prove here, so he might as well go there and have a play with the big boys.
When you follow So You Think in his daily runners, it's quite incredible the amount of his offspring who race every day around Australia. Further to that, he finished equal top with Schnitzel for the most stakes winners of any stallion in Australia last season, one ahead of champion Australian sire Written Tycoon, and he finished 5th on the overall Australian General Sires list. And he still has a huge following, 9 years on from his last race, the famous success in the Prince of Wales Stakes at Royal Ascot.
But it is all So You Think. Look at him go. A champion racehorse in full flight.
Workforce and neck behind him in second place, and it's So You Think who won the Corin Eclipse. And it's So You Think driven out towards the line, who's 2 to 3 lengths clear and will take his prize money through the £5 million barrier.
A great finish in the Derby. Quick Thinker just in front from Zabrowski. Quick Thinker holds on.
Tom, So You Think has become one of Coolmore's great success stories, continuing the line of champion racehorses bought by Coolmore who become top stallions themselves.
So You Think is undoubtedly one of the greatest racehorses of the modern era, and now he's established himself as one of the best sires in the country. Not a week goes by where he doesn't have a new winner, a new stakes winner, or even Group 1 winner. He's an incredibly consistent sire and versatile sire, and the way in which he converts his stakes winners to Group 1 winners and can produce those elite racehorses is really a testament to his quality as a stallion.
Grandstand finish, D'Argento on the outside, swept to the front from Vin de Dance.
Well, you go back, the horses he's produced, such as, was D'Argento and La Bella Diosa, Nikita Jane winning a surround. But in recent times, Quick Thinker winning an ATC Australian Derby, Realm of Flowers, the SA Oaks, then think it over this year, the George Ryder. I mean, he's not just getting out-and-out stayers or middle distance horses, he can get them over a trip such as the Ryder, the 1500.
Yeah, he's had a phenomenal season, and as you say, he's developed into a very versatile stallion, whether it's producing an elite 3-year-old sprinter like Peltzer, or a top-class miler like Nimali or Think It Over, or whether it's one of the Melbourne Cup favourites in Realm of Flowers. He's not a stallion that he's pigeonholed as a sprinting sire or a sire of stayers. Depending on what type of mare you send him, he'll get you a racehorse accordingly.
So You Think is going to go all the way. He's racing clear, and So You Think has bolted in the Cox Plate.
Well, I know everyone loves recapping some of these stallions and what they did. I was very lucky to have been involved with him from early on. We filmed him as a yearling in New Zealand. He was bought by Duncan Ramage for $110,000. He spotted him and then signed the ticket for the great horse. He was trained, as we know, by the master in Bart Cummings, but he became a real cult figure during his racing career, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a real people's horse. A lot of people come to the farm to look at the stallions, whether they be breeders or just racing fans in general. And the one horse that they all want to pull out is So You Think. He's got a real aura about him, as you say, with that forelock that everyone knows him by. He's a real household name in the Australian racing industry, and we're so glad that his name will be carried on by his sons and daughters for many years now that he's developed himself into a leading stallion.
But So You Think's clear.
Like, even from his first win at Rose Hill, he was an absolute baby, but he just really had something about him. And even in his early days, when he'd spell, and then when he raced in particular in Melbourne, the popularity has just been incredible. And as you say, I guess, so many cameras are on him at all the stallion parades. And it's a real sign of his popularity too, that everyone not just wants a photo of him, they want a photo of themselves with him.
He's an extremely popular horse. He's got a wonderful temperament, and he's a very kind horse. And people that come to the farm, they want to see So You Think, and they want a photo of So You Think. He's just such a legend of Australian racing, and is a name that will be spoken about for many, many years.
But So You Think is 3 in front. Who've you got? Surrender second from Zipping.
I mean, his own racing career, the 2 Cox Plates, particularly as a 3-year-old, and then the spring of 2010 when he also took out the Memsie, the Underwood, the Yalumba, an incredible 3rd in the Melbourne Cup, and then he won the McKinnon. I mean, that's as good a spring record as any champion of the modern era.
What So You Think did in the spring of his 4-year-old campaign was something phenomenal, and a very rare feat to win the Memsie over 1,400 metres and then go on to win the Cox Plate and the Yalumba and the McKinnon, and then go on to compete with distinction in the Melbourne Cup. It really is a testament to his versatility as a racehorse, which has now transpired into his career as a stallion.
And after the Melbourne Cup, when the deal was done for Coolmore to buy the majority share in So You Think, the 5 Group 1s he won overseas was simply breathtaking, not only for Coolmore, but for the Australasian racing and breeding industry. I mean, it's not only our sprinters who can succeed overseas.
For a horse to win just 1 Group 1 is a great feat. For a horse like So You Think to win 5 Group 1s, including 2 Cox Plates, and then go to Europe and win another 5 Group 1s against the best that Europe can throw at him in races that they breed for over middle distances, it was an absolutely phenomenal accomplishment, and it's a testament to his ability as a racehorse. He's a true marvel.
I was lucky to see him at work at Ballydoyle and get some great footage with Aidan O'Brien, and he probably was one of Australia's most travelled Group 1 performers, racing in Group 1s in Ireland, the UK, where he won the Prince of Wales Stakes at Royal Ascot, a Breeders' Cup run in the US, 4th on that tricky surface in the Dubai World Cup, an incredible 4th to Daydream in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. I mean, this toughness is what really sees him have often 10 runners a day around Australia every day.
Oh, he's an incredibly tough horse. We all know how tough he was on the racetrack, and it's the same here at stud. He's a stud master's dream. He just gets on with his job, does everything that's asked of him with minimal fuss, and then puts his head back in the feed bin and licks it out every time. If every horse was like So You Think, whether that be for a trainer or a stud master, it'd make the game incredibly easy.
Baycolders by So You Think out of Martelago by Encosta de Lago.
And his success with his offspring is reflected in the sales ring, isn't it? I mean, Inglis Easter this year, $1 million colt from Martelago sold by Sejenho, another from Nakatan sold for $900,000 by Kiora to Tom Magnier, combining with Hermitage. I mean, that is top of the tree stuff, isn't it?
It's great to see him finally being recognised as one of the elite stallions in Australia, and to achieve sale ring results like he has this year with $1 million yearlings and $900,000 and $800,000 on top of another $1 million yearling in 2020. It really gives an indication as to what the Australian buying bench think of him as a stallion, and really recognise him as one of the leading stallions in the country, which he is.
He was runner-up last year. This year he takes the cup. Good idea by 3 lengths.
But it's all night's order. First out, first timers racing clear on the Brisbane Cup. Cariff just beat Realm of Flowers.
For so many people, I mean, every photo, this story, I'm sure, and just any other bit of vision they can get of So You Think, they just love to see, just to look at this stunning horse that is the great So You Think.
You see him here in the footage today. He's an absolutely beautiful horse. He's got great presence, a real aura about him, and anyone who's around him can feel that. It's a real pleasure to have him here at Coolmore.
It's worth going a long way to see that at the racetrack. So You Think.
So You Think, just a wonderful horse. And when you think he covered more mares than any other stallion in Australia last season, his effect on the breed will continue for generations more to come. Coming up after the break on Bred To Win, a flying filly from the early 2000s with Gus Lamont from Kooringal Stud in Arrowfield Studs, the horse who made you love racing.
This segment brought to you by Arrowfield Stud, the brand worth its weight in gold.
Hey Caroline, the horse that made me love racing. I was lucky enough to grow up here at Kooringal, and my family's been breeding horses for generations now, so I've been able to follow horses my whole life. We had horses like Royal Discard when I was a youngster, running down in Melbourne. He won a number of group races and ran 3-time Group 1 placed. He was a good horse. And then Sunline was obviously very dominant when I was at school down there. When I left school, I went and worked up in the Northern Territory with cattle for a while, just to get out of the city and see a bit of the world. I came back to Kooringal in 2005, and it was really the spring of that year that a filly really captured my attention. That was Nemesis, and she really made me think, this is a game I want to be in. She won 3 group races in a row. Then she ran 3rd in the Flight Stakes and went on to win the 1,000 Guineas down in Melbourne. She was a superstar, athletic, tough. Came back in 2006, she ran 3rd in the Coolmore. She won another Group 1, the Queen of the Turf. And I was lucky enough to go and see her in the stables at Crown Lodge that year. They were saying, oh, probably don't go near this one, she's a bit nasty. And so I had to wait till everyone had gone around the corner. I was able to sneak back and give her a quick pat. But she did put her ears back and try and give me a bit of a nip, but I was very fond of that time I got to spend with her very, very briefly. And now I've been able to follow her on the track and in the breeding barn. She's been a superstar in the breeding barn. She's produced 3 stakes winners, including Impending, who's, you know, oldest and now 2-year-olds. Be interesting to see what he can produce. Am I enjoying the breeding game? Absolutely. We're in a real growth phase here at the moment, continuing to improve our broodmare band in quality and quantity here at Kooringal. We've got a great team around us of permanent staff and our vets and things that are just making it a real pleasure to be around. Getting these nice sound horses that are winning races. We've had another couple of horses winning this week, and it's very exciting times. You know, we've got a lot of prize icon foals this season. We've got his yearlings are going to be hitting sales next year, and it'll be a real pleasure to get them out there, and I look forward to watching them hit the track. You know, we've got another couple of new stallions this season in Sandbar, 3/4 brother to Farnan, and Last Kingdom, a Frankel horse. So they're both getting mares pregnant and doing a great job at that. So all's on track and for exciting times ahead, and we're really thrilled to be involved.
A wonderful young person in the industry, Gus Lamont, and it's great to see how the love of the horse is creating a new generation of thoroughbred breeders. That's all for this week on Bred to Win. Don't miss next week's show as we hear more from Harry Bailey on the upcoming Ready to Race sale of 2-year-olds and plenty more. That's coming up next week. I'm Caroline Searcy. I look forward to seeing you then.
Bred to Win, brought to you by Inglis Digital, the tried, trusted and reliable market for online sales.